I'm Dylan Macon, Senior Vice President here at Practice Real Estate Group. So it's pretty similar to any traditional retail or lease space. Once they sign a lease or sign a purchase contract, they can go in and modify as needed, obviously with the landlord's approval, but it's generally the same as any other retail or lease space. So I don't know the exact numbers. That'd be a great question for a contractor. But generally speaking, you're going to save some money. So it's going to depend on the condition. But I would say typically it's going to take about half the time, sometimes even less, just depending on what the condition of the space is. But one of the things that I always stress is definitely competition. I think a lot of folks get caught up in the fact of thinking, oh, great, I can get in to this space much quicker, save a lot of money. But a lot of times what they're not thinking about is these spaces were once occupied by a doctor. Usually they either retired or doctor was doing really well and had to move somewhere else. So typically they were there for 10 to 20 plus years. And in those types of markets, you're going to have some competition. And so that's something that's really important to think about. So for a specialist, the second generation space can be a great opportunity. One of the reasons is they can get into the space quick. And at the same time, they're going to have a lot of referral sources in that area. Just generally speaking, specialists aren't going to have as much competition. There's just not that many out there. So for them, they're able to usually take advantage of these second generation spaces and get into a spot and get going quicker. Do your due diligence. A lot of times these spaces aren't going to be in the best condition just because they're older. So sometimes you're going to get into that space and you may have to bring it back to almost shell condition. And when that happens, you're really not saving a lot of time or money. So sometimes it makes sense to just go find a space and build it out yourself, if that's going to be the case. We work based on metrics that we've put together with our in-house demographics for years. So any specialty type or any type of doctor, it's going to range in terms of what's going to be a fit in regards to what we're looking for in the demographics. But like I said, we have those metrics in place. And so it's going to range from doctor to doctor. Yeah, so I don't know an exact number, but typically you're gonna be able to save some money. However, the con is a lot of times that equipment has a lien on it from the lender that gave the past doctor the loan. So sometimes it can get tricky working with them as well as the equipment dealer. And honestly, it just becomes a pretty long, arduous process, and sometimes it's just not worth the time. A lot of times you're not going to want it. It's something that's so out of date that you might as well just go buy something new. It's a rare case when you find something that is a new office where you have some really nice equipment. But once again, in those cases, you're usually going to have to deal with the lender, and that can just be a process and pretty painstaking. I've dealt with it before. A lot of times, some of these spaces, you're not going to be able to go in and do a lot of work to them, especially the floor plan at least. And the reason being is a lot of those walls are going to be load bearing. So you're basically stuck with the past doctor's vision, which may not necessarily be a bad thing, but sometimes it's not going to fit what you want. Maybe it doesn't have enough operatories. Maybe it doesn't have the right patient flow that you're looking for from the space. There's a number of things that could be a detriment. And so that's definitely one of them.